Hello grade 4s and welcome to another math lesson. In today's lesson we will be starting with page number 305, chapter number 8, lesson number 1. What questions scientists ask? In this revision we'll be going fluently over what we have learned so far. So what is questions? Science include inquiry, or the process of asking questions and searching for answers. Scientists ask questions about what they observe in the natural world. So sometimes looking at something carefully and also asking about it. For example, a scientist studying Earth might think of a number of questions to ask. For example, how do islands form? Or what kinds of rocks do we find? So because we already know these answers, we've studied all these answers in the previous lessons, we can have an idea of how islands form when tectonic plates move towards one another and volcanoes form and erupt and islands form. And what kinds of rocks are formed on Earth? So we get three types of rock: metamorphic, sedimentary, and so we can look at that type of rocks and know what kind of rocks are on Earth's surface. So scientists first study what other scientists have already learned about the answers to their questions. Then scientists do experiments and make observations to find their answers. They keep records of their observations and their experiments, and keeping these records can help them share what they have learned to others. On page number 306, we can see that investigation is a part of answering questions. So scientists do investigations to help them find answers to their questions. And investigation is a careful way of looking for something. Scientists use process skills in their investigations. So you already use many of these skills in your daily life. To observe, scientists often start with a person observing something. For example, someone could visit a cave and observe the shapes of the cave walls. The person might wonder how these shapes formed. So observation are made with sense and with tools. So observations lead to questions. Then they do research. So after any scientist asks questions, they do research by studying reference materials. So they can look at encyclopedias, books, magazines, journals, the internet, and other types of resources. So this helps science learn what others have already learned or observed and discovered. When scientists use information from reference materials, they keep track of what information came from. And they write down the name of the book, of the article, and the names where they got these information. Then we do experiments. So scientists use observations and research to come up with possible answers. And then they run experiments. So scientists record these observations during their experiments. And the results of an experiment may match the earlier answer or prove it different. The results of the experiment are added to the early observations. Let's turn to page number 309 for lesson number 2. In lesson number 2, we look at what type of tools scientists use. So a tool is an object or device used to perform a task. The tool you use depends on the tasks that you perform. So tools can help you measure objects and gather information. For example, the balance stick on the bottom here is a tool that we use where we need to measure the mass of something. A graduate cylinder measures volume, and a metric ruler measures how far something is or how long something is. We can also use something called hand lens to make some objects that are small appear larger to us. So tools can serve many purposes as they conduct science experiments and investigations. Some tools help with observations, helping you to see things that are very small and very far away. For example, the telescope. The telescope we use to measure stars and galaxies that are far away. and observe them. And then we use computers to analyze data, or we use the internet to gather more information. Microscopes use lenses that we magnify small types of things to a very large scale so that we can observe them. For instance, blood, to look at blood very carefully and to see if there's any viruses or bacteria in them. A thermometer, a thermometer, used to measure temperature. So when we have measured something and we have set our data on a paper, we can compare our observations. So scientists make observations many times to make sure that their data is accurate. And data can or are the facts that you collect from your observation. So scientists record their findings and then they compare their data with other observations of other scientists. Even though groups of scientists may use different tools, their data should be the same. So comparing data should give you similar results as other scientists. Then we look at safety. The scientist knows that they need to be safe when they do experiments. So these are the science safety rules. Read the activity carefully before you start and listen to your teacher's instructions. Ask questions when you do not understand something. Keep your work area neat and tidy and clean up spills right away. Never taste or smell any substance unless the teacher tells you to. Handle sharp items very carefully. Use chemicals carefully, dispose of them properly, and keep plants and animals that you use safe. Tell your teacher when you see an accident or if you see anything that is unsafe. Wash your hands when you are finished with your experiments and wear safety goggles and gloves when necessary, and tie back long hair. These rules will keep you and your fellow scientists safe. So following safety rules keeps you and others from getting hurt. Some chemicals can damage your skin, and that is why you need to wear safety goggles to protect your eyes or safety gloves to protect your hands. So in these two lessons, you need to understand what is questions and what is an inquiry, what is investigation, how to observe something, where do you do research, and what an experiment is. In lesson 2, we've learned what kind of tools we use. So different tools used for different tasks. How to compare and observe your findings with other scientists and what the safety rules are. Thank you for joining this lesson, and I hope to see you in the next one.